Not to jump the gun, because you may be talking about this later on another thing, but taking the Road Warrior trip down to Comic-Con.
Right.
Oh, the Mad Max.
Mad Max.
great.
Oh, my
Sure.
God, was
great.
that unbelievable.
That was our first year at Comic-Con. And, Mad Max was that just...
Really
we
one
were
of the
all,
best movies ever.
Right.
Yeah.
That was so good.
And what's the character that Conan played? It was one of my...
The Doof Warrior.
That's one of my favorite scenes in that movie. In Mad Max, this caravan's running down, and then the camera just comes down and it pivots around and reveals that guy in the front played that. I was just like, okay, this might be the greatest
with
movie
a flame-throwing guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
So
Wearing long johns.
And Conan was like, I want to play him. And they were like, oh my God, yes.
That was the perfect opening
It was great.
for that year, especially. And also, I think that was the first trip to the Comic-Con.
Yes. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
And then we set up, we had to do that. We had to match that energy every year.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It
Then
was
we had to come
hard.
up with something.
Oh,
Yes.
I know. That was hard to... I mean, I
We had some
showed
good
that
ones.
in writers' rooms on...
That's a good one.
To
Oh,
go
really?
yeah, it was like... Because the filmmaking was... It was cool.
It was,
It was
yeah.
fun.
It was
It's fun.
beautifully shot.
Those were the only things we ever, I mean, we sometimes in other remotes would storyboard everything.
I think that was the most expensive thing the show's ever done.
Well,
really?
The Mad Max.
Yes.
Right?
Not surprising.
Our designer, our special effects guy, just literally reconstructed
That giant vehicle.
We had a parking lot on the Warner Brothers lot where we had a crane and we just assembled the thing. It was a 4-day project.
He built the flamethrower guitar.
Yeah.
And I think was over. It was a lot of money.
How
And
much are we talking?
$100,000.
Okay.
Can I talk about a weird fave that originated in Robert's era, which
Yes.
was the ventriloquist dummy choir? Do you remember that bit, Robert?
Yeah, of course.
Was
It
that
wasn't a remote.
No.
No,
Well,
but
there is
it
though.
evolved
Aha.
into one.
This is where
It
I
was
got
a
you.
recurring. It
But
was a recurring that we did.
you've
Yeah.
fallen into my trap, which is that it was a hilarious studio bit. Was that Dino? Was it?
Yes, Dino had the initial idea for the ventriloquist dummy choir.
And
absolutely.
Dino Stamatopoulos, and it was just, for nobody who's ever seen it, it was ventriloquist. They did it, I think, first at Christmas, and they're singing the Hallelujah chorus. And these doughy guys with garish yellow choir robes, and they're dummies in little matching green choir robes singing the Hallelujah chorus from the Messiah.
Like something inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, really funny. A Hungarian television producer, when I was head writer, fell in love with the ventriloquist dummy choir and flew them over to appear on a Hungarian talk show. And Brian McCann accompanied them. Brian McCann, one of our mainstay writers for years,
Yeah.
and character actor on the show. And he had to take these guys who were kind of, you can imagine, like middle-aged men who are ventriloquists, or maybe not who is the dream team to go to Eastern Europe with at the time. But it was a really funny remote. It reminded me of like when you talked about Surrender on that using that big, like a big song in a remote can really, or in Mad Max one too, like a big track, because McCann cut it up with we're an American band.
Yeah.
So there's all these shots of these idiots walking through Budapest with holding their ventriloquist dummies and like trying to do touristy stuff, and there's like, we're an American band, and it was really
Dad rock.
And
really funny.
Yeah, I think they drove them nuts. Some of them were trying to get line. They were all like, "This is my big break."
Yeah, I tried to get McCann on the phone before we did this to like get a memory of it, but some point you'll have him on again or whatever and talk about it. But I think he was worn out by these idiots.
Right.